What's up, gamers? It's your host, Cobra, and today we're doing a deep dive on the MetaSphere Litepaper. Now, this Discord and project have been around for a little while now, which is great, but we still don't have a ton of the finer details, and the first sale is actually starting tomorrow for whitelists. We're recording this on the 25th. The 26th is when the whitelist sale starts. The 27th is when public starts. So we don't have a ton of time, and I don't anticipate we're going to learn a whole bunch more before then. For that reason, it's even more important that we start by reviewing the basics. So let's dive into those basics, and the first one that I always look for is mobile support, and that is something that we are not going to see from MetaSphere, at least in the early roadmap. In fact, from looking at the art, this is heavily 3D and quite detailed, so it doesn't look like something that's going to translate super well to mobile. That doesn't mean that it can't come in a future update, but mint knowing that this is likely going to be a PC game only. On the positive side, however, they've already made a commitment to the metaverse, and the Litepaper specifically calls out Sandbox as their chosen metaverse partner. However, this is really just a suggestion because they're going to put this to a DAO vote for the community to decide if they might prefer switching to Decentraland or a third metaverse option entirely. Finally, we see that the team is what I call semi-doxed. I don't see anybody's real name, or at least real full name, listed on the website, which is too bad. However, they are using professional pseudonyms and have linked, to various artwork. So they are putting at least their metaverse reputation on the line, which is certainly better than nothing at all. MetaSphere is going to start out as a collection of 6,666 Cyborg NFTs of a variety of elements and rarities. Now, that in and of itself doesn't sound like something that we would normally cover here at the Freeroll. However, the roadmap says that they are going to build out a full play-to-earn game, and that has us quite interested. They're claiming to be the first dual token DAO play-to-earn game, which is a bit of a mouthful, and honestly, I couldn't tell you if it is the first one of its kind or not. However, a dual token economy play-to-earn game is certainly not new, and in fact is one that is rather well proven because that is the model that Axie Infinity has launched with, and we see many other projects replicating as well. So let's start by focusing on the cyborgs themselves. It's 3D art that looks really good, and I've mentioned before on this channel that I am a sucker for robots, so that part has caught my attention as well. There's going to be 3 different rarity levels: common, which will have 5 traits, rare, which will have 6, and legendary, which will have 7 traits. No matter which tier you pull, in the future you're going to receive a VX version that will be usable in the Sandbox or other metaverse game that they choose, which in my opinion is a cool benefit, because even if the project itself doesn't become a smash hit, you still get a usable avatar for a metaverse that is likely going to be popular, at least for a little while. Functionality that I expect sooner rather than later, although it's not specifically called out in the Litepaper, is staking. We definitely know that staking is going to be a part of the game, and typically we see that feature come before the actual game itself. So that will likely be our first opportunity to actually start earning a little bit within this game. Finally, when the game itself actually launches, you're going to be traveling to different cities, territories, caves to explore, complete tasks, fight with other players, conquer certain targets, and ultimately earn the MetaSphere token while playing the game. You'll also be looking for and discovering artifacts, and those artifacts are powerful NFTs that will have a use case in game and can also be traded or sold on the marketplace. Now, where things get really interesting is actually around the bases, and like other projects or games, bases are going to be used to build and manufacture new artifacts, equipment, and weapons for your army, and all of those things will be tradable on the marketplace. Now, that in and of itself is relatively standard. What's different here is that instead of selling us land or base NFTs like most projects opt to, bases are going to be an in-game asset that you either need to build up yourself or conquer from another player to take control of. Now, this adds a really interesting dynamic because it ties gameplay and the economics of the game very closely together. In fact, there's absolutely a world where players that are on their own or just aren't very successful and haven't put much time and effort into the game are not going to see the game as profitable, while other players that have built up a nice collection of resources and bases are actually playing the game every day and making quite a bit of money. And when this is the case, it creates a great incentive for attacking each other. And while I am not excited by the prospect of potentially putting in a whole bunch of work and losing a battle and thus my rewards, it does create a very exciting dynamic in game. And that brings us to the clans feature. Now, this is essentially a guild or an alliance in many other games. However, because of the dynamics around the way bases work, joining a strong and organized clan relatively early in your adventure is going to be extra important. In addition to working together to conquer and control your base, clans will also be able to take on higher level quests and work to complete them as a team. Now, the tokenomics section is quite honestly the lightest part of the Litepaper itself, and we don't have a ton of details, but what we do know is that it's going to be a dual token economy. One of those tokens is going to be more of a DAO governance token, and it sounds like the other will be more of an in-game earnable token. Both of those things are relatively standard. The distribution that they lay out seems relatively straightforward as well. The one thing that I like to look for there is that the largest portion is being distributed to players, and that is the case here, with 32% being rewarded to staking. So I mentioned it at the top, but let's review together one more time. The minting starts tomorrow, January 26th. At 7 p.m. UTC. The price will be 0.09 ETH for anybody on the whitelist, and they're going to sell up to 3,000 through that process. My understanding is that it has been oversubscribed, so it's very likely that the 3,000 will sell out. And if you are on the whitelist like we are, you're not going to want to wait until the end because you might miss out. The public sale then starts 24 hours later on January 27th at 7 p.m. UTC, and the price will go up slightly to 0.1 Ethereum. I do want to also call out that the more you mint, the greater the bonuses that you will receive in-game. Now, we don't have any specific details on that. However, the example they used is that if you mint 3, you'll get more in-game items and tokens, and if you mint 25 or more, you will get the maximum bonus possible. And that wraps up our Litepaper deep dive on MetaSphere. I hope you found this video helpful, and if so, please consider giving us a like and subscribe below. Also, follow us on Twitter so that you don't miss any of our NFT play to earn gaming talk and announcements about additional videos.